Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of those confusing corporate documents before they make sense of your wallet. Today we're diving into a filing from Two Harbors Investment Corp, and let's just say they've been busy settling some old scores. So what's the big news today? It's a company called Two Harbors Investment Corp, updating us on something they call a material definitive agreement. Now, that might sound dry, but stick with me because this sounds like a major settlement that could have big ripple effects. This filing is essentially a public announcement that something significant has happened. Think of it like a company shouting from the rooftops about a major life event, and the event here is a settlement agreement. Two Harbors Investment Corp. This is a company that deals with real estate investment focusing on residential mortgage-backed securities and related assets. Pretty complex stuff. But what we care about today is a big legal dust-up they've been having. It turns out Two Harbors has been in some pretty hefty lawsuits with a party called Pine River. These aren't small claims either. These are cases that went all the way to the New York Supreme Court and even the Southern District of New York in federal court. So what was this all about? Well, the nitty-gritty details of the original dispute aren't super clear in this particular report, which is typical. What we do know is that these were serious enough to warrant significant legal battles. And now they've reached an agreement to settle. The headline number here is a whopping $375 million. That's a significant chunk of change. And it tells you just how serious this dispute was. This payment is due within 30 days of them signing the agreement. In exchange for this massive payment, Pine River is agreeing to drop all their claims against Two Harbors, and when they say with prejudice, it means they can't bring these specific claims back to court ever again. It's a final nail in the coffin for that particular legal battle. Interestingly, the state court case had already been dismissed, but not permanently. This settlement wraps up any lingering issues from that one too. Beyond just money, Two Harbors is also getting something else valuable here. Pine River is giving up any claims to intellectual property that Pine River had licensed or shared with Two Harbors. This could be anything from software to business processes, essentially clearing the decks of any potential future squabbles over this shared knowledge. Now, in typical legal fashion, the agreement explicitly states that this settlement isn't an admission of guilt by either side. It's a purely business decision to put the past behind them, no matter who was ultimately in the right or wrong. It's a way to prevent further costs and distractions. Looking at the other details in this report, we see information about Two Harbors' various financial instruments. They have common stock, different series of preferred stock, and even senior notes. It shows they are a company with a fairly complex capital structure. These different types of shares and notes are traded on the New York Stock Exchange, which is a major global exchange, indicating the scale of the company's operations. The common stock is the basic ownership stake in the company, what most people think of when they hear stock. Then you have preferred stock, in this case Series A, B, and C, which are like a hybrid between stocks and bonds. They often pay a fixed dividend, and in this case the Series A pays a hefty 825% dividend. The Series C preferred stock is similar but pays a slightly lower dividend at 725%. These are less volatile than common stock, but don't usually offer the same growth potential. And the senior notes due in 2030 are essentially loans the company has taken out with a relatively high interest rate of 9.375%. This tells us they were likely borrowing money at a time when interest rates were higher, or they were specifically targeting investors who wanted a higher yield with the added security of being a senior note holder. All these financial figures are, of course, in United States dollars, which is standard for a company reporting in the US. Now, let's shift gears a bit to another part of the filing that often tells us what the company is up to beyond just settling disputes. This exhibit mentions a press release from August 20, 2025 that talks about business updates and dividend declarations for their common and preferred stock. This is where the company would typically share more positive news or signal how it's managing its operations and shareholder returns. So, putting it all together, what's the story here? Two Harbors Investment Corp is making a significant financial move to resolve a major legal conflict. The $375 million payout is substantial, and it demonstrates a commitment to closing this chapter. This kind of settlement frees up resources and management attention that were likely tied up in the lawsuits. Now they can focus on running the business and potentially growing it rather than fighting legal battles. Looking at the various stock and note issuances, It's clear they've used different financial instruments to fund their operations. The fact that they're paying dividends, as mentioned in the press release summary, is usually a good sign, indicating that the company is generating enough cash flow to reward its shareholders. However, the high interest rate on those senior notes due in 2030 does suggest they might have had to pay a premium to borrow money, which could be a point of concern going forward, especially if interest rates remain elevated. In my view, Two Harbors seems to be taking a proactive approach to clean up its past. By settling these lawsuits, they're de-risking the company. The $75 million is a lot, but it's likely a price they were willing to pay to achieve finality. The focus now will be on how they deploy their capital and manage their portfolio of mortgage-backed securities effectively. If they can navigate the complexities of the mortgage market and maintain their dividend payouts, they could be seen as a stable investment. However, the success of the company will largely depend on their ability to generate consistent returns in a potentially volatile economic environment and how they manage their debt obligations, particularly those high-interest senior notes. What do you think about this settlement and Two Harbors Investment Corp's financial strategy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Corporate Decoder for more clear insights into the world of business and finance. We also have a Discord channel linked in the description, so join us there to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.